Yeah, what's going on? It's Ace Torn. Welcome to the Risk Takers. So today we have a special guest, a risk taker coming to the stage that's joining us. Also, don't forget this episode is sponsored by TNT Studios. Now, the guest we have come to the show today, she is a published author, serious entrepreneur, personal trainer, gym owner, impacting the community in so many ways. And I'm talking about major ways. And also she have a powerful testimony, so listen up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Christine Law. How you doing, Christine?
Good, thank you for having me.
No problem. What's going on is Ace Torn. So look, you're making a lot of mistakes as a fitness beginner. You know, you don't know what route to take. You don't know really what you're doing. Well, check this out. I'm gonna help you out today to help you stop making those mistakes. I have a guide on 8 common mistakes that fitness beginners make on a regular basis. So click the first link in the description and they'll take you straight to it. It's time to make some adjustments and it's time to get it right. All right, now back to the show. Let's get it. Long time no see, long time no talk, man. It's been a minute, so we got to catch up. You know, it's been about what? Say about a year almost?
Yeah.
It don't even seem that long.
I know,
Damn,
it flew by.
It flew by. So let's start off, you know, we big fitness influencers and we big on health. So what drove you, what gave you that urge to take your health and your physical health serious?
For me, it hit home, like directly. It was very personal, where I lost my father to complications with diabetes. My mom, she also struggled with some issues with high blood pressure, and she had a couple strokes. So now where she lives with me, and then my own personal testimony that some are familiar with, where I struggled with alcohol abuse for quite a few years. So with that, I said, okay, I want to help others to take control of their health and wellness, you know, and give them the tools that they need without just referring to medicine or poor coping skills.
Right. So what was your breaking point, Christine, when you realized, like, I want to go cold turkey and stop drinking?
Well, it was a journey. I'm not going to even front like it wasn't a process. And I mean like a process as far as, you know, I made my mind up saying I'm going to stop because I'm watching my mom cry out to me, like her not realizing how bad the issue was until she ended up moving in with me. And seeing the struggle, seeing the late night, you know, coming in drunk, blacked out, like all kind of stuff, you know. So, and then at the time too, having kids, you know, and that's really hard to admit. That's why I said it's important to tell it, because there are people who deal with postpartum depression, just
and
depression in general.
People, like that, right.
Yeah, so it's like, and on top of the childhood trauma, because that was my issue, it was like a lot of things that happened from my childhood that I didn't address and heal from. So it just got to a point where I was literally sick and tired, and I just wanted better for myself and for my family, you know, to be able to have kids and to see my mom, and she's living with me. I was like, you got to be here for them, you know, even if it wasn't for me, for them. So they made me want to fight, to live.
How did you get to a space in your life where you was comfortable with telling the story? Because when I ask you the question, it's like, I don't want to ask, because I don't, you know, sometimes I be thinking in people's head, I don't want them to replay what happened, you know what I'm saying? But how did you get to a point in your life where that space where you're comfortable with talking about it?
I could say what helped me get comfortable with talking about it is because I put it in that book. When I wrote the book, it was so therapeutic for me, because I'm telling you, I bawled my eyes out with, like you said, to think back on some of those situations, and I had to play it out. I had to put the details in that book on top of therapy, you know, and truly being able to address some of them things. That's how I was able to talk about it. Because it's one thing to say, oh, I dealt with this in this part of my life, but you didn't get the proper help for it. It's always going to be a trigger, you know? So it's like, you can't even get through the story because you haven't properly dealt with it. So for me, I did the work. You know, I got counseling and therapy, and then finding healthier ways to cope. And if I am having a bad day, because that's real. I'm not sitting here because I stopped drinking, like I don't get stressed out or have like a down day. That's when I really hit those weights and turned to the gym, honestly. It like saved my life.
Transform the energy into fitness.
Absolutely, yeah. So.
And also too, I want to say, what would you say to a person, or you know, someone that's dealing with that, especially a female that's trying to make that transition, you know?
A lot of times I want to say, just scan your environment and see what you have. What are you surrounded by?
Right.
And if you're able to look around and it is not a reflection of where you want to go, then you know you got to make some changes. Like for me, I knew, okay, if you're in a very sensitive space of you got to stop drinking, that is not a time to be in the environments. Because I know we spoke earlier about,
Right,
well, what
about
about
socially,
moderation
right,
or
yeah.
socially? You may be too weak at the time to still be putting yourself in environments when you're trying to get over something. So I would say don't set yourself up for failure. You know, a lot of times we can psych ourselves out to say we're strong enough.
Right.
But you can set yourself up, you know, to be in a very compromising environment. So one, look at your environment and see what do I need to change about that environment that is going to support where I'm trying to go.
Right.
And then you got to look at your circle. So I'm not just saying environment like clubs and whatever, but I also mean literally
The people who you
who's
hang
supporting
around.
you.
Yeah,
That's
people
right.
who around you.
You know, because you can have enablers. You can have people where, and I've experienced this. So this is for me, like I know firsthand when you're trying to change, you can have people who they'll joke about the situation. They may not take it serious, you know,
Right.
while you're sitting here like, look, it feels like life or death for me.
Yeah,
And they're
it's
like,
serious,
man,
yeah.
take another one. And you're like, I'm ready to give up. You know, you could be crying out for help. So if you also see that the people close to you are not supportive of the change you want, you got to cut them off.
Right.
And you can't play around with that.
Yeah, because it's serious, man. I know my aunt said once you get delivered from something and you go back to it, she said it's worse.
And it's true.
And I was
It's
like,
true.
damn. Yeah.
Something that I feel like I've been led to talk about too, that a lot of people don't realize this, is that I published my book in, I think it was 2017. When my mom got sick and I had to move her in like again after her stroke, I started drinking again. So imagine where it feels like, and this is also a common thing I'm glad to be able to share, is that say you share a testimony and you're telling people how you was delivered,
Right.
and then you fall, how it is so hard to get back on a platform
it,
and
yeah.
tell people I'm back at it again. And I feel like it's so important that I can share that part too, because a lot of times people think when you get on a journey that you don't
Yeah.
have some shortcomings,
Right.
that you don't hit bumps in the road. And
It's
for
gonna
real,
be a lot of trigger points, man.
yes. And honestly, I went through a whole nother spiral of, I was in my head. I was just like, you can't talk about this now.
Right.
How could you talk about alcoholism? How can you talk about being free and you're sitting here
still-
struggling again?
Yeah.
So I feel like to that person too, like you may have tried to make some better decisions, but you fell again. Like stay encouraged, and it might be day one again for you, you know, to just stay encouraged, because that is so hard where you get on a good path and then something happens and you're like, man, I'm right back to where I
Yeah,
started,
I'm
you
just
know.
doing good, and now I'm back at square one. So
Yeah.
yeah, that could be mentally draining
Yeah.
at times. But you know, you gotta have, like you said, you gotta have them people around you. You know,
That's
and
right.
definitely keep God first.
Yeah.
So,
Your support system is everything.
yeah.
It matters.
What's going on is Ace Twan. So look, you're making a lot of mistakes as a fitness beginner. You know, you don't know what route to take. You don't know really what you're doing. Well, check this out. I'm gonna help you out today to help you stop making those mistakes. I have a guide on 8 common mistakes that fitness beginners make on a regular basis. So click the first link in the description and they'll take you straight to it. It's time to make some adjustments and it's time to get it right. All right, now back to the show. Let's get it. The way you promote and market yourself is different. You know, you have a lot of personal trainers like, you know, I have a session, I have a challenge coming up, or join my gym, or such, you know, getting people to
Yeah.
actually get on their program. But you do it in a different way to where people want to actually join you, and you do it through your messages. So just tell me about a little bit, how do you touch the people the way you do with the fitness?
I feel like it's important to remain true and like authentic and just genuine and organic when it comes to your purpose,
Right.
remembering your why. A lot of times, I mean, I get it. We want to, you know, make money with your career, but there's a purpose to it for me. And for me, it's really changing lives and making sure that we can even save lives with what we know.
Right.
So it's sharing that knowledge. And when I'm able to be transparent about my journey, you know, don't come on there just like you had it all together the whole time.
Because a
When-
lot of people do.
That's right. So if you
Yeah.
could be transparent and show them like, look, there was a time where I didn't have it together, then people can relate to you and then they feel more vulnerable, like, okay, I can let my walls down and open up to this person to help me.
Right.
Because it's hard to ask for help.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. So where did you get that confidence from to be able to share your story with people? Because a lot of times people don't want to tell, like, people they don't know their past or what they've been through.
Yeah.
You know.
For me, I feel like, and not even I know, like, that's my calling. So outside of just training, I know that it was important that I shared my story, because
Right.
there's so many people that can relate. And with social media, it's so many masks put on.
Oh yeah.
You know, where it's
Easy.
like, okay, I'm gonna show you I got it all together. I'm gonna show you my best moments, when really it's like, look, I don't have it all together. And
Right.
even though I may have gotten through some things, it's still times where it's like, look, even today I might struggle with some stuff.
Right.
So when you can share that journey, it makes people be like, okay, I can relate to her and I can open up to her. And for that, I know that I'm walking in my purpose.
Right, right. And you
Yeah.
have true leader skills. Like, you really
Thank
do.
you. Thank
You
you.
do. And I seen you just had an event at the church. How did that go? I seen y'all had a lot of fun.
Yes,
looked like it was a lot of
and
fun.
shout out to my girl Ebony. This is a partnership where it's cool that, like you said, with being able to be transparent and share things on social media, is how you connect with people you never thought you would connect with. So with that, I was able to connect with someone who now, me as a married woman, we're going into like talking to couples about health and wellness, spirituality, you know. So it's like, to have those kind of partnerships matter to
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
How do you pick your partnerships? Do you go off the spirit? Do you pray before you actually do a partnership? How is that, process?
I'm so glad you asked me that, because I feel like a lot of times people, I'm not big on like just because somebody's hot at the moment, because what they may be promoting may actually be completely what I'm against, you know?
Right.
So it's not like what's hot at the time. It has to be in alignment with what I'm doing. So for me, and think about, I'm in a different season in my life. So I'm in my 40s, I'm married, and I'm a woman. So there are some things that I feel like I can tap into
Yeah.
as having those titles, where let me reach out to some more married couples. Let me talk to women, you know. So with that, when I look at my partnerships, it's like, I ask the question first, is this in alignment with what I'm trying to do?
I see, because I be in my head a lot when it comes to partnerships. And the reason I think the reason I'm like that, because of your name is on it. So whatever you
Absolutely.
associate with, anything goes left or anything goes right, your name attached to it.
That's right.
So with that process, what is first step you could tell a person if they about to get ready to do a partnership, their first partnership?
I would say pray about it. And I know, but see, you got to know who you're talking to. And I'll be like, I ain't preaching, but
Yeah.
that's how I do it.
Right,
you know, so
right.
for me, it's like, look, first off, let me even make sure it makes sense. And sometimes you got to put it on paper, pros and cons. Okay, what they got going on? How is this going to add to me?
Right.
And not just, sometimes it can be, let's say if you're looking at the money, great money can be on the table, but
Right.
what does it now tie you to? What does it associate you with? So you have to ask yourself some of the hard questions, like, is it worth it?
Right.
You know?
Do you look at the character of the person before you partner with them?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I do. And I get it. When you have entertainment and business, the truth is sometimes you actually will work with people you may not be too fond of.
I was going to say,
So
you may not even like.
And I think that that's where you can cut yourself short if it's just about whether I like them or not. We got to get out our feelings when it do come to business, but make sure it makes sense that you both are adding to each other. It's an opportunity to grow. And with that, it takes some maturity with these partnerships, because our ego can really get in the way.
Right, right. That you said something there, strong point. Let's transition into the gym, your gym owner. You actually
Okay.
upgraded. I don't want to say too much about it, but the new upgrade is crazy. It's very,
Yeah.
it's a blessing, because it's like it's a warehouse. You
Yeah.
know, your process is moving.
I used to work at the VA hospital. Shout out to them, because it was a great job. But
VA.
when I moved on this and was like, I got to do this full time, and I
Right.
jumped in, I can honestly say, and then meeting my husband and everything, it was like, I have a partner, and I always make sure on any platform that I'm able to share that, because we also don't do that. It's a lot of men versus women type stuff.
It is.
out here. So what I always try to make sure that I promote is that I have a very supportive partner when it comes to, he understands my vision
Right.
as I do his. And with that, you're able to move mountains when it comes to what y'all can do together instead of sitting here and it's like, I'm gonna do me, and it's everybody's an island. So with this, I could say we were truly blessed to go from one location to, like you said, upgrading. And with this location, multiple things can happen now. Like we got the gym, he has the body shop, we're working on a trade school, community center.
Oh yeah.
We're renting out restaurant space. I'm just like, my mind is blown.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So-
Big. It's damn near like a mini mall. Like it's changed and all in one area.
Yeah.
I love it, man. So let's talk about your book.
Okay.
Your new book out. And this book is basically reflecting on your life and also, helping transition people and guide them in the right direction.
Right. With this, it is a very, and I know we say transparent, but it is. It's like with this book, I was able to just do like a deep dive when it came to my most vulnerable moments with alcohol. And before social media, I thank God, because if Facebook was around,
Ooh.
When I was
you
coming
both.
up.
I ain't gonna lie. Because I
saved
caught
me.
it towards the middle, but
Yeah.
damn, yeah, you right about that.
but with that, I
Shit
gotta
crazy.
say, it was 10 years of just a roller coaster ride with alcohol. And because I know the times we were in where people are truly turning to some unhealthy ways to cope instead of really addressing things and healing and getting counseling and therapy and exercising, they're turning to the drugs and the alcohol and other things.
Right.
So I said, okay, I think it's very selfish if you know you've been delivered from something that you keep it to yourself.
Damn,
And that's even with entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you were able to elevate and you got to a certain space, but you didn't share how you did it.
Right.
It's so selfish of us to want to withhold information. So I knew I was charged with the responsibility to share because it would truly save lives.
Man, that's very deep. What would you say about someone trying to stop drinking, but they're a social drinker? And social drinking is kind of like, damn, it's peer pressure without being peer pressure.
Right.
Because everybody, drinking, vibing, but you the only one got a cup of water or a Sprite.
Yeah.
How can you cope with that as a person trying to stop drinking?
When you think of your body itself, right, and you're out, whether it's a social, I don't care if it's church, social setting, barbecue, wherever, right?
Right.
Whatever anybody else is doing, there's like a saying, like, what you eat don't make me.
Right.
Right? So with that, I think about always be mindful what you're putting in your body, whether it's a social setting or not. You have to just take control of the situation to say, moderation is key.
Right.
It don't mean it has to be these extremes, like either you got to be extremely drunk or you just got to be sober. Moderation.
Right.
So, and I preach that where I'm just like, listen, make it a 2-drink minimum if you're going out.
You big on that as well, because we talked
Yeah.
about that years ago, and that helped me.
Yeah. So I just feel like, and I'm also not the type of person, because you've come from or got delivered from something and you're
Right.
free from it. Now you turn your nose up at the people who
yeah.
are like having a challenge with it.
Right.
Provide the tools. So to me, I'm big on moderation.
Right.
So you may not cut it out, but make it a rule to be like 2 drinks.
Yeah.
And be disciplined about it.
What do your diet look like
For real.
to be able to stay the way you look?
I haven't had like beef or pork in over 25 years, so that's something I've already been doing. But with my chicken and fish, of course and listen, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, because if you do follow me on Facebook, I love some wings.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I do too. Ain't
Like
no
I
cap.
just light up. But
Lemon pepper.
lemon pepper.
Come on with it.
Okay, so, but for real, for the most part, it's a chicken and fish diet for me. I'm big on my veggies and all of that, good carbs.
Right.
However, I would say, even with myself, moderation. So
Right.
I don't sit here and like it's this real strict. I'd be lying. So I'm big on moderation, but also I get it in the gym.
Right.
Like,
You go
and
hard.
you cannot out-train a bad diet. But what I'm saying is I'm very disciplined throughout the week, and I have a very consistent schedule of working out. And with that, I also have been more mindful about the recovery side of things. So I think we talk about what to eat and how to exercise, but rest.
Right.
And actually recovery time. I think that's just as important.
Right.
So with that, it's like, it's a balance, so that's my main thing, is just keeping it balanced throughout the week in moderation. I'm not going to sit here and act like I eat lettuce all week, because I don't.
Like a bunny.
Yeah, I don't.
So I know you have a class for women. I got a lot of women that follow me. Now the class you have, is it every month or do you do it periodically once a month?
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. So
Yeah.
I call it My Sister's Keeper.
Right, that's it. That's it.
Meet me at the park. But now with the colder months, we meet at like coffee shops or whatever.
Gotcha.
So with that, that's actually something where we literally just have girl talk, and we have an opportunity to like pause. You know, like we ripping and running all week.
All week,
This
yeah.
gives us a chance to, because even a part of when I promote, I'm like, look, come as you are. This ain't, you got to be all glammed up to come. Just come and fellowship, you
Right,
know.
right.
So I have some women who come, and it's just like, this is what I need, and I need to get away from the family sometimes, unplug from my job, and just be me.
Right.
So it allows women to be able to just let their guard down and not have to put on all these different hats that we wear in the world.
Yeah. Basically let loose, wind down type
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
That's what's up. We got Christmas coming up, a couple days. How
Yes,
you feeling
sir.
about it?
I
Do you celebrate holidays? Or,
I do,
you know?
and what is so good about this year is like family, like spending more time with our kids and stuff
Right.
like that. It has been a blessing that we still are able to, because you see what our
Right.
community be dealing with when it comes to a lot of loss and stuff.
Right.
To still be able to be around your family and celebrate them, that's been my highlight
That's
outside
good.
of any gift.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. One thing, okay, I want to get into like next year because I know you got something big coming next year. If you want to share with the people, what are your plans for next year? Like, what do Christine Law want to be at in 2025?
Okay, so without giving it away, I am creating a program for people where, when you look at social media, I have a love-hate for social media when it comes to the type of stuff we put out there, because a lot of things, I'll just say, is unrealistic
Yeah.
for people to even achieve. And there's so many people, just your everyday people, who need something.
Right.
So I'm creating something for them.
Okay.
And to finally open, because like I said, top of the year, we'll officially be back open. So that feels good to move forward with the gym and our nonprofit, which is straight just community service for
That's
our
good.
folks.
That's good. I like it. Last but not least, Christine, what is the biggest risk you took in your life up to this point?
The biggest risk, you know what I'm gonna say? I'd have to say I have gotten like stronger when it comes to my boldness about my faith with the type of time we're in. You know, it's like you almost get criticized for just even being bold about
Oh, yeah.
your faith,
Yeah.
you know, and sharing your testimony. So what I'm noticing is more of the more you talk about your testimony in God, I feel like the more people may mock you or joke about you or even turn their backs on you. My risk was jumping out there to say, you know what, I'm all in, God. Like, honestly, this go round, because with my business, there would be no business.
Right.
Because I wouldn't have been delivered from the alcohol abuse, you know, and being
Talk
able
about
to turn my life around to now be a vessel out here.
Right.
So it's God first. And I feel like to be bold about that, it's a lot for me, because there's a lot of people who still don't believe.
Yeah.
So if you could see me do it, and you see me out here, like you said, man, it's going fast.
Yeah.
That's not even me.
Right.
I can't even take credit for all of that. So that's me jumping out.
Yeah. But I want to add
big,
another
man.
question I want to ask you, because I know you're married. What can you say for those out there that we spoke on this? It's like women, black women against black males. Like, why is it gotten so bad to the point to where we can't even be in a relationship or be married more than a year? What do you think about that?
I would say this when it comes to that type of stuff. Almost everything that I see out in social media, I do not apply to my marriage, because you'll be divorced within a year.
Yeah.
Because it's very much of an island mentality. So we got away from where we can have vulnerable moments with each other. It's
Right.
like, if you even look like you about to fall off, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, where did we stop having each other's back? You know, so for me, it's about that. And a lot of things, I think, like the same thing when I said about my faith, it's the same about marriage. To take a stance like, look, just because y'all are going through it, that's not time to go look at somebody else because they
yeah.
look good and now you outside of the marriage. All these things
Or
that
broadcast your
yes,
lifestyle.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
feel like you got to protect it and you got to support it. And if you're saying that I have married my person, then you got to have their back. I can't be fighting and warring with the person who I said I have their back.
Right.
So I think with that, you got to know whose team you're on. Don't let the world inside of that, because they will tear it apart. So yeah, just protect your person.
Love it. Well said. Man, perfect interview, man. That was
Thank
well
you.
said.
Thank
Anything
you.
you want to say, before we get ready to wrap it up, what kind of advice you can give to the people out there?
Something I would want to really say to everyone is remain yourself, and take value in who you are, because the world needs you, not a copy, not you pretending to be someone else. They need you, the gifts that are inside of you. So make sure you stay true to you.
Stay tuned in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and Mr. Risk Takers. See y'all next video. Stay with it.